Bernard Zapor will rejoin us now for more on this, a former special agent in charge of the ATF and faculty associate at Arizona State University School of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Bernard, this guy lived 35 miles away from this church, so why would he go there?
They're going to find that in the coming days. They'll find the connection between him and this location, or if it was somebody inside. Unfortunately, that's going to take time. Not the pressing point at this right now. It's to resolve contacting the victims' families, making sure that the people who have been transported to trauma have gone to the right facilities, and then getting the initial aspects of the investigation first. But they will make all the connections, and they will discover, if any, what his connection was to this location, members of the church individually, the church in collective, or the town itself. And I'm sure that'll be revealed quickly.
But it takes a certain kind of evil to want to shoot people inside a church during church services.
I keep referring back to Dr. M. Scott Peck's book, People of the Lie, when he talks about the lack of selflessness and the ego is the root, really, of these kind of degrading behaviors that go to this point where somebody is so self-centered that their ability to have empathy for anybody else is completely gone. They're a monster.
You know, there was a lot of talk after the Las Vegas incident about motive, and we still haven't heard of any potential possible motive for that absolute horrific massacre. And now we have this one. And I think you'd agree that no sane person would do what these men have done.
I agree with that. And I think what we need to do, there's two things we can do right now, and that is to put mental health care together, law enforcement, and academia to research every single active shooter, mass casualty events, to find the anomalies, let the data speak to commonalities, both in predictive analysis and things we can do in the future. And secondly, that it becomes almost an OSHA standard that for every facility, whether it be communal, civil, educational, that we have the run, hide, fight protocol, and that people know in some form how to react the best they can in an event like this. It might save one or two. It might save more. Right now, we don't have that. This is not a fire drill. The reaction is different, and it's immediate, and it might save lives.
But there have been exhaustive studies on serial killers and mass killers. I'm sure that you know that there's been lots of research into this topic. Is the type of person who's doing it, is that changing? Are we seeing a different kind of mass killer?
I think in terms of finding context to this event, there's a commonality that whoever does this, whether they profess an ideology or they keep whatever their motivation is to themselves, they don't have a conscience. They lack empathy when they do it. We know that to be obvious. But even with the studies that have been out there, a deeper analysis could yield something that gives us the ability to stop this trend.
And soft targets need to be hardened. Is that part of this? I mean, we just simply can't have unprotected places where people are gathering anymore?
I think we all have to assume that we could take steps, the very best we can, that if we gather as groups, that there's a vulnerability there. We can't assume that something like this isn't going to happen. Let's assume it's going to happen and take the best measures we can. Again, a consultation with security experts, academia, mental health care, and law enforcement. Study the studies. Let the data speak and yield things for us that helps us as a country with this public safety and societal tragedy.
Bernard Zapor, former special agent in charge of the ATF, we appreciate your time.